Ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to say welcome once again to the Lenny Robbins YouTube show. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding. Now, today I'm bringing you this broadcast or this video from over St. Catherine on the Linstead side. I want to share a quick experience I had. I flew into Jamaica just a couple of days ago and went to the ATM and I went there with someone and the both of us went into the ATM booth together. Well, I didn't do the transaction. I allowed her and tell her my number and everything, password and everything, and transaction what to do, which she did. That took us about 5 minutes to get done. But before walking out, I instructed her to make sure that you put away your money, put away your card, zip up your purse, and if you can tuck it away safely, do so and make sure you're. There were a number of people out there, and you don't know who is who, we don't know who is who. Because everything is happening in Jamaica in broad daylight now. No one is scared of doing anything. So by the time we turned to walk to the door, the other man at the end of the line just stepped up to the door. Bam, 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 bam. Take out on a lesbian Batman self. Calling both me a Batman and the woman a lesbian. So by the time I half opened the door, the man was already coming at me. Luckily, the person was with me, held on to me and said, you know what, forget it. And people around, some of the people in the line, some weren't saying anything, but some were saying, you know what, forget it, forget it, forget it, forget it. Shaking their head and said, no. Walk away. And I walked away from it. He came out of the booth, still cursing, still going on. And all of these things. And I thought to myself, sometimes when police hear people demonstrating that police is wicked and kill people innocently, they're not, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta have our facts sometime before we start to jump and accuse police. Because if this man can attack me and this other person that we went into the booth together with, that I went into the booth with, this man doesn't know us, and he attacked us. Me, the female, and me, the man, and the female, along with myself. To call us names and to threaten to throw us out of the booth, and we need to get out because he needs to do this, he needs to do that. If he is this arrogant and ignorant, if he's confronted by the police because he jumps in a taxi and drives, and he drives and other taxi driver is confronted by a police, will he not display the same kind of ignorance and arrogance? And to all these mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and wives and girlfriends and baby mother out there and children and who think your father, your son or your daughter, your husband or your baby father is a righteous man. Sometimes the person you see at home is not the same person on the street. You understand? Because if you notice a lot of people on the street, all of them think they can take out their ignorance on the next person. And you have no idea who you're confronting at times. None. None. So having said that, I just want to let all Jamaicans know that, listen, an ATM is not your private space. It's a public space. So when someone goes into that machine or that space or that booth to do a transaction, you who are standing outside can only wait until that person is finished and safely get outside before you get inside. You should not even be making an attempt to go through that door whilst the person is coming out. I can tell you, in some other parts of the world, you try that, you lose your life just like that. Bang. You gotta wait until that person steps out before you step in. It's not a private space, it's a public space. And if you can't wait and you think the person's in there too long, then the only thing you can do is ask the person to hurry up, because you have somewhere to go. Or if they need help, if they're not getting through and they need any help, that's all you can do. But most of all, your only rights, your only legal right is to wait until the person exits the booth. You cannot and do not have the right under any circumstances to throw that person out. So much so for that incident. I am glad no one got hurt in that. I myself could have gotten hurt, but I knew you would have gotten hurt also. One of us could have gone to jail, or both of us went to jail. It is what it is. I'm glad nothing happens. I'm happy nothing happens. I want to use this opportunity to jump back into the election because I thought the election was over. But there's so many things you see on YouTube now. And I notice a lot of the bloggers who are out there supporting JLP and PNP are not there now because, as I've said before in earlier video, the real politics starts now. Initially, I had no intention of getting into the politics. I just want to I used my opportunity to make common sense understanding of what was going on in terms of election, the promises, and how these parties are selling themselves, and all that was happening around them. I tried to make common sense of it. You understand? And this is why I stress the issue that we must come together to create a better understanding for each other of our politics. I take a quick look at the Prime Minister during his swearing-in ceremony. And he made it clear that he's not going to rest comfortable with the third-term victory. It is important for him to do everything to win the fourth term. And he's doing everything to create that history. He has already created a history because this is the first time the JLP is winning a third-term election. So he is dead set on creating further history by becoming the only party to win a fourth term in Jamaica. Now, the Prime Minister is convinced that the JLP won the election based on the JLP's performance. He stressed that clearly in his inauguration speech at the swearing-in ceremony. And that is from the Prime Minister's perspective. I know a lot of us as observers, participating observers, will see a lot of different things, have our different opinion about it. We'll attach many reasons because a lot of people, you still hear them talking about the reason why JLP won and why PNP loses, and everybody gives a different reason, and that's fine. That's fine. Because we all can put all of those reasons together and, come out with some real understanding or some strategic understanding as to why one was victorious and one was the other one lost. But the promise Mr. Holness made to perform to the betterment and the growth and development of Jamaica and all its people is not just a promise to his political parties, to his leadership, and to the direction he wants to take the country. It's also a promise to you, Mark Golding, and the People's National Party, because you are the opposition party, the party in opposition. And as I said, you are the only checks and balances we have against this government, or the government of the day. So that fourth-term promise of performance should be your initial campaign slogan. Because if I were you, I would set up a watchdog program now to closely monitor the success of the government over the next 5 years. I would set up a watchdog committee to monitor what the government has achieved in respect, not in respect, and compare that to what the promises that they made. And from that, you should be able to have a good determination of their performance over the next 5 years. What the Prime Minister is telling you, Mr. Golden, is that both yourself and the PNP is not a viable party. It's not a viable alternative to the JLP. But in a real way, it's also handing you the PNP their first campaign slogan, four-term performance. You guys can now develop that as your slogan. And you have all right to change it along the way. But you can, as you said, you're going to start campaigning from day one. So let's see what you do from here, Mr. Golden, along with the PNP. Well, I must commend Mr. Andrew Holness on his victory and his inauguration and everything. Jamaica Labour Party. And we look forward to you guys doing even better than what you did in the third term. Because in any term, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth term, Mr. Andrew Holness, if you're even there for sixth term, I'm going to be honest with you, the country can always do better. We can always do better. And nothing is ever completed. And nothing will ever be completed. So, but I must compliment you, sir, and the intention you have displayed so far. That's a wonderful way to go. And I hope the Jamaican people, both JLP and PNP, will rally behind you and give you the support you need. Will give you the support you need. And for Mark Golden, I don't want you and your PNP to think that because you're in opposition, you have no use to the country. You are you find the PNP is still a vital part of our politics. It's a vital part of our governance. The vital part of the government. So the country still needs you and needs your party to be vibrant. There's also rumblings of Damien Crawford. That boy, time never come for Marky G, but a Rastaman time now. I don't know if the PNP want to continue down this timeline political slogan because it has failed you so often that I don't know you guys don't start to think otherwise to come up with something more creative. But I'm not a PNP. I'm not a part of anything that is attached to the PNP now, the JLP. So you guys can do whatever you want to do. It's just I'm only here to share my comment and to make some common sense of what you do or what you don't do. But this whole argument out there that the Rastaman time come, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how much Damien Crawford himself is behind that. We don't know what is happening, buddy, Mr. Golden. But as long as you remain the leader of the opposition or anyone else become the leader of the opposition PNP party, I give my support. And I give my support for one reason, sir. The country needs two vibrant, viable political parties. That's the only reason why I support the PNP. And I've said this before, I have no special love for the PNP. And it's because of my experience with Ryan McGann, Oliver Clue, Gladys Ellington, and all them people. I want to know, all of you guys know who I'm talking about. Good. Some PNP support don't even know. Even members of your party might not even know these guys. Well, most of them would know Oliver Clue because I think Mr. Golden, you roll him out in the last Fresh Council election over by the Tony Sparling Center in Arnett Garden over there. He was on stage with you guys in that one. But another PNP supporters, so those people who are really why I have no interest in PNP. I have no love for the PNP. And the tender years they destroy my life. I can tell you that. So the JLP, even the tender years they destroyed my life. They really didn't destroy. But they put up a hurdle, a stumbling block to my life, which was really not something that sits well with me ever since then. You understand? So I really have no love for either one or either party. I'm not interested and I'm not afraid to make it known. I have no doubt and I have no horse in this political race in Jamaica. When it comes to the campaigning thing, who to be in power, I have no dog in the fight. I have no horse in the race. So I remain independent and I'm not afraid to come to criticize PNP or criticize the LP, raise the PNP, praise the PNP, raise the JLP, praise the JLP. That's my position. I have nothing against a man who thinks the PNP is the only saving grace for Jamaica or the JLP is the only saving grace for Jamaica. I have no contentions with that because people too have their opinion and they're entitled to their opinion and against mine. I don't know about Damien Crawford, sir, but the rumblings is out there that Damien Crawford, Rastaman time will come. You have to settle that, Mr. Gold, and you guys have to sit down and clear up that because you have no honeymoon period in opposition. You have no time to waste. You guys need to get going and remain viable and vibrant for the people of Jamaica. Not just for PNP, but for all Jamaica, people of Jamaica. Because as I said, our Prime Minister has promised 5 more years. And at the end of that 5-year performance, he's hoping to win the 4th term. So everything is over to you now, sir. Nothing is left up to PM again. He has the rein. He has the horse. The odds is with him and against you. So the PNP has to get going. I must also say something personal from my perspective because Mr. Michael Phillips from Northwestern or Northeastern, one of them constituents in Manchester you are, Mr. Phillips. I lost $200 because more than a year ago I took a bet that you would have lost that seat. Fortunately you won it. And I know that wasn't won on performance. Because if you notice both leaders in their speech into that performance, so to Andrew Holness, Mark Golden, they both talk about performance during their concession speech and their victory speech and inauguration speech. Performance. But Michael Phillips, I know you didn't win your seat because you were performing, or any level of performance made you win that seat. You won that seat, sir, because that Manchester seat was a safe PNP seat given to you where you can spend 87% of your time in Parliament with no time to campaign in your community, with no time to do anything for the people, with no time to hear the people's cry and understand the people's need, and with no time on your hand to address people's problem in your constituency. That's how safe your seat was. And even then, with knowing all of that, I still took that bet against you because I made it clear that if the people of that constituency need any good, wants to see difference in their life, it is time for them to make a change and vote for somebody else and see what happens. Having said that, Mr. Phillips, it's not just you alone. Like I said, I don't care about PNP or JLP to the extent where I'll talk about you and don't talk about the JLP. Mr. Holness, this one is for you because I also took a bet not more than a year ago, but a couple of months ago that you would have lost that issue at St. Andrew's seat. However, I heard that you won it. I understand that you won that seat. Again, your husband, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, talked about the JLP winning the election on performance, and I know you could not successfully say that yourself either. If you come out to say that up front on any platform, Mrs. Holness, you're very dishonest. Because each time I talk about you and Isual St. Andrew, I'll take you back to the last flood of Bull Bay 4 years ago. The last flood that occurred in Bull Bay 4 to 5 years ago. right? When that Cane River thing came down, washed away everything over Flood's bank, and Wees Road was a part of the river course. And that little girl that was washed away and got saved. And if you think you did perform, I'd like you to just take 5 minutes out of your time to explain to the nation the promise. Tell them the promises you made when you visited that area. And how many of those promises were ever fulfilled? And I challenge you to that, man. Because I kept an eye out there for you. I kept an eye out there for the result of your promises. I kept an eye out there for the difference you would make after that flood. Nothing changes. And I'm not saying this because I hear this from someone. I'm saying this because this is coming from the horse's mouth about you. And I took that bet against you, but you won. Tells me again that people are not voting strictly for performance. All your husband is boasting about, even though Mark Golden talks about PNP performance as well. People are not voting on performance, people are voting for promises. Anything that looks like it's going to make them a dollar richer, a dollar better off, they'll rather vote for that than performance. You understand? And ladies and gentlemen, those are the two people that I stake my money on to lose their seat. And I lost. And I accept that I lost. But I'll continue to wager. If I'm alive and you guys are still in politics, Mikhail Phillips and Holness, Mrs. Holness, I still wager against you guys. I'm not yet convinced of you guys. I'm not. And it's going to take a lot more than what you're doing to convince me that you're a true representative of the people in your constituency. I don't believe that up to today. Honestly, I don't. I want to say something about my new community, my new constituency, Linstead. It's funny because Damon Crawford, I listen, somebody had to win. Let me put it that way. Somebody had to win and you won. Because honestly, I think both of you who contested the seats are both losers for your political parties. But it just so that somebody had to win and you won that seat. So that's all right. But I'm a member of that constituency, Damon Crawford. And I'll keep my eye on your performance because your party leader talks about performance. I'll keep an eye on your promises. So I know the promises you made on campaign trail, most of them you won't be able to do because your party is not in power. But the ones that you think you're able to do, that I think you're able to do, I'll keep an eye out on those, and I'm not afraid to call them out as time goes by. Now, to comment on your contestant from the JLP side, Mr. Amos, I'm not afraid to tell you, Amos, I'll tell it to your face, I'm happy you lost, because I don't believe you're a politician. I believe you're a punk, power-hungry, grabbing, narcissistic person. That's my description for you. You're power-hungry and you're a narcissistic person. Very selfish. Very, very selfish. So I'm glad you lost because I know if you had gotten that power, brother, 3/4 of that community could not talk to you. So I'm glad you lost. But neither am I glad Damon Crawford won. That's the good thing about that seat. But as I said, someone has to win that seat, and whoever wins it, that's fine with me. And I pledge not only to give my support if something good is required and the support is needed, I'll definitely be happy to do so because I'm not here for PNP or JLP. I'm not here. I'm here for anything that's gonna lift up the community. Also, I must also say that in Old Harbor where I'm from. I don't know what is wrong with people and politics. I don't know what is wrong with people and politics. Here again, it's a shame to see the whole town of Old Harbour. It's a disgrace, Warmington. The town of Old Harbour is a disgrace. It's in such a disgrace, Warmington. I don't think you drive through Old Harbour. I honestly don't think you drive through Old Harbour. You live in Old Harbour anymore. I don't think you even go that side anymore. You may still have an office down there that you visit ever so often, but I don't think you go to Old Harbour, Warmington, because the town that I grew up in, when I grew up, life wasn't this advanced. Technology wasn't this advanced. Everything is now far more advanced than what it was in my time growing up. But yet, it was better than what it is now. The town itself of Old Harbour was more vibrant, more beautiful, more cleaner than what it is now. It's a disgrace, Warmington. I don't know how you're not ashamed of yourself and people are not ashamed to call you an MP and vote you back into that seat as an MP. I don't know if people do it. I don't know if they do it. This die-hearted Labour right, die-hearted PMP support has blinded people to the realities of their own existence. People don't need clean street to walk on anymore. People is not afraid to skip the garbage or walk through the garbage. Old Harbour, man, look at Old Harbour Beer. Warmington, look at Old Harbour Beer. You should be ashamed of yourself, Warmington, talking about Old Harbour and you are the MP for Southwestern St. Catherine. You should be ashamed of yourself, as I said. And to put it further, sir, you should be damn ashamed of yourself. I visited Old Harbour and the town of Old Harbour is a sickening disgrace. The market, look at the post office, the deterioration of the post office. Look how many people have bought houses in and around Old Harbour. Look at the housing development around Old Harbour. Beautiful. Absolutely unnecessary. What has been done to the town of Old Harbour, Warmington, to accommodate all of these developments? Not one crap. Nothing has been done to the town of Old Harbour to accommodate. No extension to the police. No extension to the amount of the police that we have in Jamaica. We have more development in housing, more years to cover. Going down to Old Harbour Bay, you and I know it was all cane peace and swampland years ago. We used to go down the both side of that road and catch crab. The police didn't need to patrol those places. But with all that development, nothing has been even been done. Nothing has been done to increase police numbers in Old Harbour. Nothing. The same old station, the same size, the same everything. While the town slowly deteriorates. And I tell you, sir, soon and very soon, that other bank is going to disappear from Old Harbour. Because nothing is done to make Old Harbour a better place under your stewardship, Warmington. You are. And I'm going to say this loud and clear, Warmington, because I'd like you to see this video. I'm from Old Harbour myself. You are a disgrace to the town of Old Harbour. You've been there a long time as MP. And it should be better. Old Harbour should be a better place than what it is today. You are a disgrace. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my 2 piece on the election so far, and I think that's going to be my final piece on it because the government has sworn in, so we now start to look at their cabinet and speak to each cabinet minister as I go along and try to just tie in my common sense two-piece to what is expected of each minister as they go along. And we need to start to look at people who talk about, when we're talking about development, we talk about technology, we talk about finance, we talk about education, and we talk about transportation, we talk about these things. So, as we go along, we break them down in parts, talk about this, that, that. And the ministry that is involved with these areas. And that's my intent. And as we go along, just follow what we can learn from government. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity once again to say welcome to the Lenny Robbins YouTube show. Know Your Politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other. Because none of us know it all. None of us know it all. But we can do so by watching what our politicians do and what they say, because it's critical, it's important to our own existence. To our own existence. And I say this with an emphasis because I'm still, as I said, the Prime Minister is now in power again for the third term, and this now is the time when I'm going to get into this toll road situation, because a lot of roads have been built. You understand? But I'd like to see a report of the toll road performance for the last 2 years. I'd like to see something and hear something about it. Is the government making enough money to cover all expenses of the toll road? Is the toll road paying for itself, in other words? You understand? Is the toll road paying for itself? Because we can make all of these beautiful roads across the country and across the island. But if these roads are not helping to pay for themselves, where are we getting the money from to pay for them? Because that's to be taken from somewhere else. But I said, performance starts from the government in a couple of weeks, so I'll be able to get into all of that in a short time. Ladies and gentlemen, Lenny Robbins YouTube show, Know Your Politics, as I said, is now we must make a greater effort on our part to come to get greater, better understanding from each other. One love to you all. I got some people from over in Portland, One Avenue. Blessed love to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Your opinion. Can't be mad at anyone for their opinion, brother. But we also gotta show concern for other people's opinion. Because none of us knows politics entirely. None of us. Even for us who say we support PNP or support JLP, we don't know everything about the PNP. We don't know everything about the JLP. So it's blessed love to you still from me. You understand? I appreciate what you're doing. It's your opinion. It's your perspective, your views. And no man can tear that asunder. No man can challenge that. And my brother, believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. Mr. Porter, Chris, enough love, my brother. You know where all of you come from. Enough love to keep doing what you're doing. And to some more bloggers out there. Make we talk now the time for you to walk the middle of the road now. You understand? I know me not go hear from man Wayne Lonesome and the man Wilfred Wattigan again and all of them things there because the election over now. So we not go hear from them and some of the PNP man them not big up themselves all blinded supporters. But still bless up to you people still understand, because we all understand we all just giving our opinion, we just sharing our own perspective on things. You understand? So if you want to speak harshly about me, speak harshly about me, because if it warrants that I speak something harshly about you, I'm going to do it. It's blessed love to all Jamaica, blessed love to every one of us, because together we are actually saying we're fighting for the same thing, going about it in different ways. I don't know if we can achieve the same thing, going about it different ways, if we're not in one accord, but life is what it is. I'm not here to tell a man not to do what he thinks he should do. Because no one can tell me how to do my thing. I am convinced that by watching what they do, I can create a better understanding for each other. Lenny Robbins YouTube show. Over and out. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks.